Hey guys, I am DMZone, this is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. By the end of this video, you're going to see something that's going to turn full circle. I'm talking about the Lumberjack mission. As you can see here, this here is Tanuk Lumberjack. Okay, Tanuk is not necessarily like a name. I think it's more of like a title or a race. As you can see, all these people here are Tanuk, but maybe his name is Lumberjack. I don't know. Anyways, kind of a fun name. Right next to this map, if you're looking for it. Looking on the world map, it's the southernmost place just above the Arat island. I'm going to run over here towards Arat Island. Alright guys, so right over there was where the map was, and where this is at. Over here is Arat Island, and then down there is a little like selling point and teleporter. Right there, there's a teleporter back over there. You get the idea. Lots of teleporters in this area. It can be a little confusing. If you don't know what an Arat is, that's a young Arat. The only size of Arat there is. Alright, so when I went in and started this mission, I bought 5 tree cutting devices. In this case, it's going to be the standardized one. Let me run over here so I can get to a thing and show you. And I was given one by a YouTuber slash live streamer who's also done a little bit talking about tree cutting and how it's very valuable for those type of like professions that if you want to do like looting and the little I'm using sort of my own words here, but sort of like the micro elements of a profession that you don't necessarily raise up quickly doing the profession. So if you go here, you can look at tree cutting. You got your Zakinin tree feller, which is a really cool looking weapon. I'll show you more about that later when you see me using it. I bought 5 of them. I had one that was given to me, and then I had another one who's a viewer, does some videos I think for fun every now and then, but he gave me one from Next Island. Now that means I started out with essentially 35 PED in value to be able to do this. Here's how many of these I've used. So here is my Next Island Reaper 1 Limited. You can see I spent that 5 PED. Then I've got a total of 34 more of those blades. So in 35 blades, I have completed the weekly mission. Now, I'm just going to get all this done up front. My reward was, actually it's on my phone, I got me a tree felling. The very thing I use to cut down trees. Now I can use to make a tree. I'll start putting those images up. But the curious thing about this is, what does the mission take to get that? How hard is it to get that blueprint? I think that blueprint is not the only thing that drops. I've been told that there are all sorts of carpentry and there's a whole list of things that could drop. It is definitely specific to that person. So that person drops, I won't say unique, but the only pathway to that blueprint is through him. Now I don't know if he drops blueprints that are outside of that scope, but it makes you wonder if it's hard to get the blueprint and the blueprints are finite, what would making a tree feller be so important? I'm thinking there might be blueprints within the blueprints that unlock different things that I think are super cool. So this is going to be a long journey. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm not going to be doing this by any means once a month. I initially thought that may be something I could do, but it took a long time. It's a lot of work to get 10,000 boards, but I did it. Anyways, let me go ahead and show you some of the, well, you've seen some of the skills I've gained. This might be more skills than I gained from engineering when I did the we're still waiting on supplies mission. Now that one could be done daily, this one could be done weekly, but even still.
This mission is so important in that way because it's not like you're doing the still waiting supplies every day. I mean, some people might for like 30 days or whatever, like a challenge, but you're not doing that most of the time every day. So whether it's 1 week or 1 day, it's about the same, to be honest. But let me go ahead and get into more about like what the skills are specifically. You're seeing the professions increase, so you get an idea what's going up based on that. But some of the micro skills that are really being raised up here that give you a lot of points, it's kind of like when you pick when you codex and you pick a different skill, because instead of getting 2 points for a skill, you can gain 50 points for another skill because that skill's so low. But it's hard to raise that skill up through the normal means, and it doesn't mean as much point to point. Like let's say 5 points of rifle doesn't mean as much as 5 points of, you know, laser weaponry, right? They're going to have different values within the same thing. It would be a 5% or 4% or whatever. But if you were to get 20 points of rifle versus 5 points of laser, they're probably there's probably a much bigger difference, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I'll get into that a little bit when I talk about the resources, the resource gathering profession. So, for example, 5% of the skill is intelligence. That is on the top end for intelligence for a lot of skills, which is why intelligence is in so many skills. So getting at that 5% is really good if you're getting a lot of points. And in this case, you'll see this is the fastest I've raised my intelligence on any of the things I've done. So you have alertness, you have athletics, you have dexterity, you have perception, you have geology, you have resource gathering, which is unique to this. You have the science version of analysis, biology, botany, genetics, and zoology. So you got a little bit of pet finding stuff, you got some mining stuff in there, you got some looter stuff in there, that type of stuff. But looking at like the mining specifically, you got your geology and you got your perception. Perception at a 10 is much higher than and much faster than you're going to get from mining. So raising up that way is very good. Perception is used in other things like looting and that type of stuff. So it's also an incredible skill there. Geology is pretty much in here and in maybe some looting skills or professions, but it's definitely in the mining aspect. Analysis at 14 is a really high level. You'll see that when it gets to the time to put that card up there, my analysis was a 14, and then it became a much higher number. All my perception went up greatly, my analysis went up greatly. I gained so many skills. It was like a little mini mayhem. I can't think. This isn't really even a comparison. Many of the professions I gained levels in were not like from going from first to second. Many of my professions were insane. The one that was probably the fastest raising, which is, it's not a pertinent skill outside of tree harvesting, but my tree harvesting skill went up tremendously. That resource gathering went from 1 point to over 1100 points. That is an incredible amount of points in just one mission worth of thing. 35 ped being spent multiple times. But really, if you think about it, I was power leveling, so I was selling what I found and then putting it back in. So technically 35 times 5 is going to be, math on the fly here, that's going to be, what is that, 175? Yes. So 175 ped spent, but then I get resources back and I get skill back. I ended up selling all the resources I got and I stopped immediately when I got to 10K. So I didn't waste the rest of that harvester. I ended up making about, was it 20 ped and 20.9 ped is what I ended up remaining. So if I had 35 invested and I got 20.9 back, that means I only spent 14.1 ped to gain all these skills. I'm not sure there is a better cost of ped per skill in the game. I've looked at scanning, I've looked at certain other things, but I'm just not sure for 14.1 ped you're going to get more skills. I'm not sure, to be frankly honest, that you could spend 14.1 ped in anything and get more perception or whatever, or some of these really important skills, or athletics. I mean, you'll see when I get this back. Some of them are, you know, like, okay, that's cool. That's a good amount of skill. Some is like, whoa, that's a lot. I mean, the top ones you have for this are geology and perception, and then just above that, but one of the top three for sure is analysis. You know, then you got tied with geology, you got biology, which is really good for raising up your ability to heal and stuff. Some of these skills are very specific to things that you may not care about, like zoology and that type of stuff. You know, but in zoology, botany, you know, biology, if you don't heal, you know, you may not care about it. But some of them are very standard, very good. They tend to be like the lower skills, things like dexterity, athletics, alertness, intelligence, maybe, you know. But there's a lot of skills, and for whatever reason, it's really given a lot. Now, is the reward worth it? I'd heard originally that there was a skill bonus reward with that too. I was hoping there was. There wasn't. But, you know, maybe I got the low end of the rewards, and there are a lot better rewards. I'm interested to see what the future of that will hold. I can tell you that I'd go into it with 40 ped. I wouldn't buy 7 harvesters. Weight is an issue when doing this mission. So if you are, if you've never done melee, if you've never raised your strength, my strength's a 28, gives me 319 carry weight. If you've not raised your strength, then you probably need to either do that or don't. You're going to be making a lot of trips, or have ability to sell it right there, or transport it back via vehicles or whatever, because it was still a lot of trips with my increased strength. I didn't use any of the other stuff, but essentially 5 to 6 harvesters was all I needed at one time, because if I wouldn't even get all the way through 6. Really, 6 meant that I was carrying like 380 load. Now I've got some stuff on me, probably my second suit of armor and that type of stuff, that is weighing me down, but still, that is a lot of weight. Weight is a big restraining factor on this. There are several great locations on Planet Cyrene. They've just added some more, and that's really good. I'm going to go ahead and show you 2 locations that I feel like are really good. And I'm just going to kind of broadly circle the most north one. But if you go to the outer rim, or you go to the one just above it, there's good tree harvesting all around there. And there's this one right here along the river that's super good too. And you know, you can avoid the mobs for the most part and get stuff done. But you know, just be mindful of the fact that there are other people out there doing the same thing you are, or out there just raising your skill for harvesting when you're doing this. One of the things I found is that even though I have the maximum size tree I can harvest is a small, I could actually harvest large and huge. I don't know about how ethical that is, because you're only getting small and large, or small boards off of a large and huge tree. So other people can't mine or harvest those. And there's a lot of value in those other boards. So if you can afford it, if you have the PED, I would recommend getting the harvester that can do huge trees, or at least large, and take that with you, and then use that one only when you're trying to do the huge or large trees, and then use the blade essentially to cut down smalls. You'll get plenty of all of these throughout the day. I feel like it took about 9 hours to complete. I want to say I got just a little over 1,000 boards an hour. It took me a little longer because I went exploring beyond the places I knew to see if there was other places for trees, because I had never done it prior to this. So I didn't find a whole lot. I know there are more, I just don't know where they're at. In future videos, maybe I'll have more of an example of what I'm talking about. I plan to do this video again, showing you what round 2 looks like, and then show you what maybe round 3 looks like. I went from level 3 to level 5 in resource gathering and I think that is a significant jump. And I know some of the things I was looking at for like the upgraded harvesters was there is a skill restriction essentially. I would have tore up my harvester if I would have bought one. So I'm thinking next time I go in there, I'm going to see what it would take to get the a harvester that can do huge trees, and then maybe go in there with more PED instead of selling back, keeping the trees, so I can then sell the large and the huge back for more money. Or if I get up to 175 PED or so, maybe just go ahead and keep all of it and then sell the lumber, and have that be potentially profitable, so I can go ahead and continue to do this, and it would be its own literal, I guess, fund that produces for itself, and then I could maybe get to where I do that once a week, and it would be self-propelling down the way. I think if someone were to sell 10,000 boards in a week, though, just as raw boards, you probably would end up with the prices lowering, because I don't think people need that many boards. There's just not enough carpenters and whatnot. Though it might be, if you do that instead of selling, it might be a good time to become a carpenter, and then sell the things off of that. I don't know. I like multiple levels and entry things on that type of stuff, and variables, and there's some value in there somewhere. I just don't know what that is at this point in time. But anyways, as I've been talking, you've been seeing all these professions scroll by. Let me go ahead and show you what we have for the actual skills I gained. Okay guys, so as you see, I started out with 43,999 skills. By the end of it, I was at 47,476. That is literally over 3,400, almost 500 skills that was gained in one mission that took about 8-9 hours to actually do. That is an incredible amount of skill. Now, not one of those skills was laser rifle or whatever, but you can see there, that is so many skills. That is over 100 points of alertness. That is 60 points of athletics. That is over 600 points of analysis. That is over I was right at 400 points of biology, over 300 points of botany. Again, what do we use botany for? Unless we're doing a lot of garden stuff, right? And that's only very specific things. I think it's kind of a dead skill. Dexterity went up. Being in the thousands, it went up almost 100 points. Genetics went up a bunch, but again, what do we use genetics for? It's why it was so low in the first place. Geology went. Now I've been doing quite a bit of mining. You've seen me actually get a couple globals of mining. I went from 364 to 544. That is almost 200 points of geology. That is so nice. Intelligence went up by 3 points. That is so good. So good. For an ability to go up that much is so good. My perception in the 1400s gained over 100 points. My resource gathering gained over 1,000 points. As you can see, it was almost 1,100 points. My zoology, really good for pet handling and that type of stuff. And I did read Pet Handling 4, which unlocked a new trick, which was super cool. But that was almost, 250 points, over 250 points, 300 points of zoology. That is so many points. So many points. I am excited for what this will hold next time, and I hope it either gives me another blueprint like that I got, so I can do a larger run. When I get to 100 clicks of that harvester, the tree feller, I think I'm going to do a video on that specifically. So if I do this 4 more times and I get unlucky and only get that one thing, expect a video to come out, and I think that's going to be super cool. Just like I'm doing the videos right now with the still waiting on supplies, I think I'm going to do a series like that with this tree harvesting stuff, and we'll see how much this continues every time I do this. But this really increased the skills that were low. Look at my starting skills going into this. 428, 53, 1405, 30, 34, 1049, 1, 364, 37, 1425, 1, 169. Those are all fairly low skills for a profession. And by the time I get done with this 5 times, I think all these skills will be over 1,000 points. And I think that's going to be a very different character at that point in time. One more thing to realize, none of these skills are hidden. There is no getting a hidden skill later. And some people are like, oh, that sucks. You want hidden skills, because no, actually, hidden skills are actually a negative. Hidden skills means you don't get the full access to the profession from the get-go. Hidden skills means that you're doing 80 or 70% you have access to. Like the skills you're doing only represents 70% of the growth. The rest of the growth doesn't come from skills you have access to until later when you're finally able to use it. So it's like you're level 60 in a skill and you have all the skills, all the hidden skills unlocked, and now you're going up. It's like that. But it's like that from the very beginning. So you actually are going to go up faster in this than you would anything outside of this, except for maybe sweating, because sweating also is one of those professions that has 0 hidden skills. Yes, this means also that there's 0 hidden skills that can be unlocked to do that. But you know what there is? There's perception, there's intelligence, there's alertness, there's athletics, there's dexterity. These are all skills you get in other professions that are not hidden, that are already raising up this skill. That's why I was level 3, even though I never picked up the weapon or picked up the harvester and used it. By doing this the opposite way, yes, my tree harvesting skill, my resource gatherer, will go up tremendously, but I will actually start to see benefits in other areas because of this. And I think it's very interesting, and I think some of the nice ones about it is all the the investigation, and which again is kind of a dead skill. But investigation is using your scanning. I've also been told it's for like the pill where you control monsters, or you become a monster and then you're able to attack people. It works with that type of thing too. So very interesting skill increase. I'm super excited about the perception, the geology, the dexterity, the alertness, the analysis, the athleticness. All of these things are super nice. The biology is super nice. You know, the intelligence is super nice. If I didn't say that already. Zoology is like, yeah, I need it. You know, I've got videos going that way. It's a great way to raise that up quickly. Probably the most efficient way to raise your zoology I've found so far. But that's what I know. Anyways, guys, if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. Go ahead and let me know down below if you'd like to see further updates on this. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. We'll see if we get as many skills and professions the next time. Will I get over 3,000 on the next time I do this, or is that kind of like a one-time thing? My thought is I probably won't get as many skills, but my professions will stay about the same as far as increasing. Because, like I said, those professions were not first level when they did. You know, I think it'll go down a little, just because I'm not going to get 5 points of resource gatherer in a single mission. But anyways, I digress. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Keep her in that bed. See you guys in the next video.